Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit trilogies are often regarded as the pinnacles of cinema. Based on the lore of J.R.R. Tolkien, the movies gave us some beautiful, enchanting memories for our lifetime. But it's time to refresh those memories, because we are going to get another beautiful tale of bravery from the land of the Middle-earth. This time, it won't be a live-action adaptation with heavy VFX and CGI. This time, it will be in the Japanese anime format, which promises to treat us with appealing visuals and a mind-boggling storyline. So grab your elven cloaks, my fellow adventurers, and let's dive into uncharted territory where we reveal everything we know about Lord of the Rings, War of the Rohirrim movie slated to be released in 2024. We are going to be talking about all the juicy details, including the possible plot, timeline, cast members, and probable release dates for the movie. But before we get started with the video, we have a small request for you. If you like the content, subscribe to us and like this video. It might be just a simple click for you, but it means a lot to us. Now that we've got that out the way, let's get started.
Fought him, the Balrog of Morgoth.
A preview of the epic journeys and unseen realms. The Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit trilogy introduced us to the magical world of J.R.R. Tolkien books, but the movies were just the tip of the iceberg, and Warner Brothers is expanding the lore with another movie releasing in 2024. Unlike the previous live-action adaptations, this one will be an animated adaptation of a story that happened 183 years before the events of the Lord of the Rings movies. If you remember, in the second movie, The Tower of Gods, we were briefly introduced to King Helm Hammerhand, who was the guiding light of the Rohirrim and the creator of the iconic fortress of Helm's Deep. If sources are to be believed, we might even witness the creation and story behind the iconic fortress. The plot of this movie involves Helm Hammerhand, the 9th king of the Kingdom of Rohan, coming into dispute with a Dunlending landowner named Freka. Freka laid claim to the throne of the land and tried to arrange for a wedding between his son, Wulf, and the daughter of Helm, Hera. As expected, this did not go well, and Freka was dead with just one blow from Helm. This enraged his son, and he launched a sudden attack on Helm with the help of his Dunlending army. Helm Hammerhand was not prepared for this assault, forcing him to retreat and take surrender in the fort, which would later be named Helm's Deep in honor of the king. While this forms the basic plot of the movie is bound to explore a few other adventures and stories that will connect it to the fan-favorite Lord of the Rings trilogy. The reason we are excited about this project is because it's being helmed by the legendary Kenji Kamiyama, who is well known for working on award-winning anime like Ghost in the Shell and Akira. Not only him, but a few well-known creative brains behind the original trilogy are also returning, including Philippa Boyens, the screenwriter behind the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit trilogy. This time, she will be executive producing the film, while her daughter, Phoebe Gittins, will be working on the screenplay. Apart from them, we have Alan Lee, the legendary art director who won Oscars for his work, and John Howe, the original illustrator for Tolkien lore. With the movie in the safe hands of these brilliant minds, we can rest assured that a blockbuster and visual treat for the fans is on its way. The movie was actually planned for early 2024, but due to the sudden writers and actors strike in Hollywood, the production of the movie was postponed to the latter half of 2024. But we are sure this movie will not come out until December 2024. Is the War of the Rohirrim connected to the beloved films or shows? While fans are excited to witness the vast history of the land of Rohan and the adventures of King Helm Hammerhand, they are still unsure how this will connect with the original Lord of the Rings trilogy. Well, there are a few things that connect to the original trilogy of the War of the Rohirrim movie. The first and most obvious is the production house, Warner Brothers and New Line Cinema. Secondly, this upcoming movie will be narrated by none other than Miranda Otto, who is returning to reprise her role as Eowyn, the Shield Maiden of Rohan. The biggest clue for this movie's connectivity with the original trilogy is that it would not be connected to the Rings of Power series by Amazon Prime, mainly because of the complex rights to the Tolkien lore, but also because the series is set 5,000 years before the events of the original movie, and this movie is set only 183 years before the events of The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. This means there's a higher probability of the movie being connected to the original trilogy trilogy than the Amazon Prime series. There's also a strong possibility that the second season of The Rings of Power might be released around the same time as the animated movie. This means that the movie will have direct competition from its own franchise, but that might be a good thing for the fans because they'll be getting back-to-back Lord of the Rings content. The stellar cast and creative minds steering The Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim. The defining factor of the original franchise is the exceptional cast and crew that the team gathered for the live-action movie. The actors gave their best and breathed life into the tale, and that's why they were felicitated with multiple awards for their contribution to the film. That's why Andy Briley, the casting director responsible for highly acclaimed series and movies like Starstruck, Cruel, and Top Boy, was tasked with casting the best for the series. And man, he did a terrific job this time. The stellar cast of the animated movie includes Brian Cox as Helm Hammerhand. He is well known for portraying the billionaire Logan Roy in Succession, which earned him a Golden Globe Award and an Emmy nomination. His most notable appearances include his roles as William Stryker in X-Men 2 and Hannibal Lecter in the 1986 movie Manhunter. Apart from Brian Cox, the cast also includes Gaia Weiss, who will voice the character of Hera, the daughter of King Helm. Gaia is the daughter of actor couple Emma Thompson and Greg Weiss, and she is popularly known for her supporting role in Bill Bryson's biopic titled A Walk in the Woods. Luke Pasqualino, well known for his roles as Freddie McClure in Skins, Elvis Hart in Our Girl, and Grey in Chris Evans' star Snowpiercer, will voice the movie's main antagonist, Wolf. In the film, Wolf is portrayed as the leader of the Dunlendings, who have a vendetta against King Helm and will lead his army into the war against him. Apart from this trio, Lawrence Ubong Williams will voice Freyalaf Hilderson, the nephew of King Helm and the legal heir to the throne of Rohan. William is better known for his roles as Eddie in the horror flick Getaway and Harding in the highly acclaimed biopic My Dinner with Hervé. Frecker, who is the reason behind this conflict and the primary driver of the plot of the movie, will be voiced by Sean Dooley. Sean is known for his roles in soap operas like Coronation Street and EastEnders. Recently, he has worked on series like Misfits and The Street. He has also starred in movies like The Woman in Black and Diana, The Last Days of a Princess. Finally, we have Miranda Otto reprising her character Erwin from the original trilogy. She will serve as the narrator for the movie. Apart from these major cast members, Lorraine Ashbourne, Yazdin Koufouri, Benjamin Wainwright, Michael Wildman, Bilal Hasna, and Janine Davitsky, who have been cast in the movie in undisclosed roles. The countdown begins, unlocking the premiere date secrets. Initially, Warner Bros. Revealed that they were working on an animated movie back in 2021. This made people assume the movie would be released around the end of 2021, but later, the release date was revealed to be April 12, 2024. The makers required this time because of the creative work and animations involved. Everything seemed to be going right for the movie until things took a turn for the worse because of the writer's strike in Hollywood. This pushed the creative work a bit further, and it was unclear when the movie was coming out. But when things were cleared and the strike ended, the creative work for the project was back on track. On the 20th anniversary of the release of The Fellowship of the Rings, New Line Cinema announced that the movie is finally coming to theaters on December 13th, 2024. This news came as a relief for the fans of the Lord of the Rings franchise, as prior to this, the movie was postponed indefinitely. Apart from giving the fans a precise release date, the makers have also announced that the animated movie will be available on Max, the official streaming service of Warner Bros., right after the movie's theatrical run. Marvelous verdict. So that is all, my fellow adventurers. This is everything we know about the new and exciting chapter in the Tolkienverse that we love and adore. But if you think that's the end of the stories from Tolkien's lore, then you are wrong, my friends. The Lord of the Rings is one of the most successful Warner Bros. IPs. Both franchises, directed by Peter Jackson, have cumulatively earned more than $5.8 billion. That's why we are sure that they will not stop making Lord of the Rings content in the future, and we will get more more delicious treats in the forms of spin-offs and stories from different timelines. All we want for the future Lord of the Rings content is to be authentic and have a compelling storyline, rather than being just a cash grab on the name of the original franchise. With that being said, if you like our content, like it and subscribe if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.